Hi there, Kathy Judd here. So I've been playing around in my art room a little bit today and thought it would be fun to do a nautical themed Father's Day card. What kind of inspired me was first of all this Momentoluxe ink, which is called Nautical Blue, and then this fun stamp set called the Open Sea by Stampin Up. A quick little look at it. And I grabbed this anchor stamp here. So I'm going to go ahead and just make the card. I do it in real time, so it may be a little bit longer than you may like, but that's how I do it. So I appreciate it if you hang in there with me, and I'll list my measurements and my supplies down below as I go. So I went ahead and inked up this little applicator with some of the Nautical Blue ink and went ahead and made myself a little background piece to use. And also went ahead and stamped out the cute little anchor, and I also went ahead and clear embossed that so I'd be good to go. You'll see me clear emboss again, so you'll know exactly how I did this on another aspect of the card. So let's go ahead and set these two pieces aside for one quick second. I'm going to grab another piece of Whisper White cardstock and go ahead and get ready to do a little bit of background stamping. I'm going to use this Woodgrain stamp by Stampabilities and go ahead and take some chocolate chip ink by Stampin Up. And I don't need the entire stamp pad, so I'm just going to ink up, stamp, so I'm just going to ink up a part of it, just enough to be able to die cut the piece that I want. And we'll go ahead and stick that on. Okay, and there's a little bit of wood grain for me to use. I'm going to quickly clean off my stamp while I've got it in my hand. And then the next thing that I'm going to grab is a stamp by Fawn, which is called Bannerific. And I have two stamps on my block, but I'm going to use this one first. Actually, oops, I closed up my ink. I'm going to use that same chocolate chip ink to do my quick little banner here. So we'll go ahead and ink the banner up. When you're doing a banner that has a die cut, make sure you leave enough room around your stamp to be able to die cut. So there is my little banner, and I'm going to quickly once again wipe off my stamp. And then next thing I want to do is with another little scrap piece of paper here is I want to stamp this other banner. I want to actually about 3 of them, so this doesn't need to be stamped perfectly. Again, that same chocolate chip ink. And we'll quickly stamp this on. I just need 3 of the little banners. It's going to be an embellishment that goes on my card. So we'll set this aside for just 1 second. And again, I'm going to clean off my stamp. Okay, so I think that's all that I need. I need the brown ink for one more thing. Here's another piece of cardstock that I'm going to use in my layering. So I'm going to grab one more stamp from this fun Open Sea stamp set and go ahead and ink that up. And since it's a larger stamp, I'm going to go ahead and ink that up upside down. I'm going to stamp this a couple of times, just enough to fill up my whole space here, slightly off of the edge. Don't worry about this overlapping. We're doing a background. And it adds a little depth having it overlap just a hair. It'll dry just a little bit lighter than what you see right now. But there is one of my other layers. So we'll set that aside to dry. And I'm going to quickly clean off my stamp set again. And we'll set that aside. And then the next thing we want to do, whoops, where'd my paper go? Here it is to do the word anchor inside this little banner. And so to do that, I've already grabbed the little letters that I want to use, and this is coming from the Fawn set called Sally's ABCs, and this is what it looks like. And I'm going to use that same great Nautical Blue color to ink up my letters. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of an allergy problem going on, so pardon my sniffing. And we'll go ahead and do our best. I've already kind of lined them up the best that I can. A little bit of an angle, hopefully I'll get that in there good. And this is a wet ink, which I mentioned before. So we can go ahead and emboss these letters. So I've got some clear embossing powder by Stampin' Up that I'm going to use. We'll do our best to get that back into the jar. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and add some heat to our anchor. So turning on my heat gun, a little bit of brushing it around along my hand, just enough to feel some heat, not enough to burn myself. And then we can add the heat to our letters. And you'll be able to watch them pop, hopefully. Okay, as it melts the little wax inside the embossing powder. I love embossing. It's just such a fun little elegant touch. And since this is a masculine card, we're not going to be sticking on a lot of sequins and such, so let's do some embossing. Okay, so that looks good to me. Probably won't be able to see it really super well, but there is a shine to those letters. I don't think I can show it to you right now. Oh wait, maybe you can see just a touch. Okay, so we've done the anchor. Another thing I want to quickly do is grab a Stampin' Up marker that matches the chocolate chip ink, and I'm just going to fill in the bottom part of this banner so that I feel like I've got a little bit of shading. Try and be careful here as I'm using a brush tip. Just really quickly add some depth here. I think it just kind of finishes off the banner, you know, really cutely. Love the Lawn Fawn stamps, especially when there's a matching die to go with it. Okay, almost done here. And then we'll be able to do some quick little die cutting with my Cuttlebug. Okay, so there is that. I'm going to move my scratch paper out of the way for now. And then we'll go ahead and pull up our Cuttlebug. Okay. Move my tan mat out of the way. And so I'm going to use, whoops, I put my camera, the Labels 7 die by Spellbinders, and this is what it looks like. Spellbinders Nestabilities, Labels 7. It looks kind of like a storybook. Really cute, right? So I'm going to grab the smallest one here, and that's what I'm going to use to cut out my anchor. So I have my A plate down here on the bottom, my B plate, and then we've got the little piece that we're going to cut out, which I'm going to go ahead and center and run that quickly through. I'm going to add a C plate onto the top here. I'm going to send that through real quick. Cracking sound is perfectly normal. And I'm just bringing it back towards me for ease of getting it out. And then what I'm going to do is grab that piece, but I want to emboss this as well. So what I'm going to do to emboss it is I'm going to use my A plate again and my B plate again, flip this piece over, and grab my little mat here. And this is the little rubber mat that Spellbinders makes. And then we'll grab another B plate. And then just because I know that my Cuttlebug needs a little bit of help to be as tight as possible, I have several sheets of cardstock here, about 4 of them, that I'm going to run through to make sure I get a good embossed piece here. I'm going to roll it back towards me just to make sure we got a good impression. I'm sure you can hear everything on my table shaking. Then we can open this up. Oops, a little piece of paper, and you can see that our piece is embossed on the edges. Isn't that cute? I hope you can see it. Okay, we'll set this one aside for 1 second. And next thing we want to do is some more quick cutting. So remember this piece that we did here? We want to cut out the anchor and cut out one more background piece. So, oh, 2 more, sorry. So I'm taking the next size up, and we'll go ahead and line that up. Don't really need to tape that into place, it'll be just fine. And then I'm going to grab the matching banner for my little anchor here, which will line up. And go ahead and run through the Cuttlebug. That looks good. Hold that into place. So A plate, B plate, and another, oops, I'm sorry, C. What am I doing? A plate, B plate, and a C plate. And then we'll send this through. Again, you'll hear that cracking sound. It just means that our die is cutting. And we'll bring it back. And then we have one more cut to do, and we'll be on our way here. Okay, so let's pull out our anchor and our little wood grain piece using that great Spellbinders die. And then I'm going to grab the next size up on the Spellbinders die, and that piece that I just showed you at the beginning, that I used the Nautical Blue on, I'm going to place this one right in the middle because I'm going to use this as a double function. I'm going to use a piece from the center, and then I'm also going to use this to mat, which is, you know, you won't even know that there's a hole in the middle because it's going to be part of the card. So we'll run this through, and in just a second you will see what I'm talking about. Okay. So our last piece to die cut, and we can get this other stuff out of the way. Okay. So what we are left with are these 2 pieces. And where did our little anchor go? Let's pull that back to the table here. There's our little anchor piece, our little background piece, our wood grain piece, and our little anchor piece. So really quickly, I'm going to pull up my scratch paper, take that same chocolate chip brown ink, and I thought this would be cute with a border. So I'm just going to very quickly outline here a quick little border. That'll kind of help things stand out just a little bit more. Okay. We'll switch to the brush tip. Just want to frame this, and I just think with a little bit of depth here that it'll stand out more on my card. Am I still in the shot? Okay. Almost done here. Trying to be quick, and I know I have kids coming home from school, so you might hear them come in. It's Tuesday, so it'll just be my youngest one. The older three will be at drama. And we can double check that I like how that looks. I'm going to go just a little bit darker here. There we go. So we've given some depth to this piece, which is going to layer on top of this piece, which is going to layer on top of this piece. You're going to get the picture here in just a second. So one more thing that I want to do is I had this little banner right here, and I want to add a little bit of color to that. And to do that, I'm going to use some sponge daubers. So I have two here. First, I'm going to grab some of that Momentoluxe blue, and we're just going to come right into the middle here and add some of that grape blue. Just like that, and it'll dry smooth and beautiful. And then I'm going to grab some more of that chocolate chip ink, if I can find it. There it is. And we'll add a little bit of brown onto here, just really quickly. So once I've done that, to save time, I've gone ahead and done this part ahead of time. I'm going to put just a little bit of brown up here at the top and just a little down here at the bottom, just to kind of highlight things just a little bit. Okay, and so this is kind of how I made my embellishment, and I'm going to show you what I finished doing. Then I went ahead and just took a Versamark pad and went ahead and just smushed right on top of it. Went ahead and sprinkled some embossing powder and added some heat to that, and then cut it out. But I did the embossing first so I wouldn't burn my fingers. I'd have something to grip onto. And then when I was finished cutting it out, I ended up with a little piece that looks like this. So it's been completely embossed, and I've gone ahead and added some pop dots onto the back of it, or little foam squares, whatever you want to call them. So I think we have all of the elements here to put our card together. I want to do one more quick thing. I've got this brown ink in my hand, and I'm just going to very quickly go along the edge of my blue piece here, just to give some of that great brown onto it. Let me grab a little bit more ink here. And we'll do the same thing around this other piece. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. Okay. And then it's up to you how far you want to go. I think I actually want to do a little bit on this piece as well. I think it'll just make it have kind of an old feel to it. And we'll go around the chocolate chip piece. I don't know how well you're going to see on camera, which is kind of a bummer because I have a feeling this is going to turn out just so cute. Okay, and let's start getting this card put together. And then we'll do one last stamping and we will be finished. So let's go ahead and grab a card base. I'm just going to wipe my fingers off real fast. Hopefully I'm not too goopy with ink. I'm just doing a standard A2 size card. Again, I'll list my measurements down below. There's my base, and I'll go ahead and grab my ATG gun, and let's get this put together. Okay, hopefully I haven't missed any steps while I'm trying to move along quickly. Okay, so let me center this piece for my first layer. And then we have the piece that we created that's going to go on top. Add some adhesive to that. I love nautical themed cards. I just think they're so cute. And this one's got some good masculine colors in it. So it's kind of hard to make homemade cards for men, but I think this one works out really well. And then let's go ahead and put this together. I'm going to not pop any of this up because I want to pop that anchor up, the word anchor. So we'll center this and also go ahead and put on our little anchor. Which is also going to be centered. And adhesive again, lots of adhesive today. And we'll center that. And then, before we put these other two pieces on, I want to do one more stamping here. So I also grabbed, hang on, I'm looking through the pile of a mess that I am making. 1 second and we'll find, oh, there it is. So I used one more stamp set, and this one is by Paper Studio, and it has all these fun little words on it, and it's just called Everyday Expression. So you can pick out certain words that you like, and I picked this up at Hobby Lobby, and I grabbed the words you, are, and mine, and we're going to go ahead and emboss that up here on the top corner. So to do that, I'm going to need my Versamark pad. We'll go ahead and ink this up. And real quickly, before I do that, the one step that I often forget is grab my little embossing buddy here so that I don't accidentally emboss where I don't want to emboss. And then we can stamp our little you are my into the space I want it to be. And we'll grab some white embossing powder. Sorry, you can't see my desk, it is just nuts. Well, I'm hunting for my white embossing powder. Okay, where did it go? Clear, clear, of course. Oh, there it is. It's hiding in the back here. Knew I had it. And some scratch paper again. We'll go ahead and add our embossing powder. You notice some get where you don't want it to be. Just grab a quick little paintbrush here. Hit it just a little bit, and you can kind of clean up any embossing powder that you don't want. Before we hit our heat tool to it. Okay. And of course my embossing gun fell onto the floor. Let me grab it. Once again, I'm going to heat that up on my hand again, just till I feel just a little bit of heat. And then we can wrap this card up. Okay. Add some heat. And put on our little pennant, and we will be, and our anchor, and we will be done. Okay. Okay, that looks good to me. Quickly clean up my embossing powder. And then I thought it would be cute if we pop up our little anchor here. So let me grab some pop dots to do that. I've got some black ones here that we'll just use. Three, and I'm actually going to cut this last one in half to kind of hit those sides. There we go. And we can add this onto our card. Just removing the backings. Surprised my daughter hasn't walked in yet. Okay. I want to maybe slant that, just, whoops, just a tiny bit, like that. And then we'll grab our little flag that we made and remove the backings. Okay. I put that up here in the top corner. Just like that. And there we go. A nautical themed Father's Day card. One last little touch actually that I think is cute, and then we'll be at the 20-minute mark, and that's probably long enough for a card. But I took one more stamp out just because I thought it kind of finished things off really cutely. So I'm going to grab that chocolate chip ink, grab this great little ship that's inside. I'm going to ink it up. And then really quickly, I'm just going to stamp off and then stamp one more time. And I think that just finishes things off really pretty. And then it's up to you if you want to stamp Happy Father's Day on the inside or not. I just like the You Are My Maker. I think it's really cute. Anyhow, I hope you're having a wonderful week and have enjoyed watching my video. Hopefully you'll subscribe and maybe leave a comment. And I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.